कोई न रहा, सन्नाटा है।
ये लाश है किस शहजादे की,
किस तरह हुआ सीना जख्मी,
किस्मत ने ये गम किस
माँ को दिया, कोई न रहा, सन्नाटा
है। कदमे बराबर दो लाशें,
डूबी है लहू के दरिया में,
दोनों को झलने
लूट लिया, कोई न रहा, सन्नाटा है।
तुर्बत है यहाँ एक नन्ही सी,
नजदीक परा है नावक भी,
मासूम को किसने
कत्ल किया, कोई न रहा, सन्नाटा है।
हर सिमत उदासी छाई है,
तीरों पे किसे नींद आई है,
बेघोरों को फनला
शाह परा, कोई न रहा, सन्नाटा है। मक्तल से यही आती थी सदा, कोई न रहा, सन्नाटा है।
मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु।
Brothers and sisters, take your heart to the plains of Karbala. The sun has set. There is no Abbas. There is no Qasim. There is no Ali al-Akbar. There is no Hussein. Zainab stands alone with Ali al-Sajjad. Now that no longer upon Karbala is the sun's heat. Now that no longer upon Karbala is the sun's heat. Now that no longer does Hussein's heart beat. Now that no longer upon Karbala is the sun's heat. Now that no longer does Hussein's heart beat. Zainab's story begins. Zainab's story begins. For the mountain of patience shall never crumble. Speaking in the voice of Ali, yet to her Lord humble. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What must she have seen? One can't help but wonder. For only when one looks through the eyes of their heart can they see beauty in their world being torn apart. For she saw nothing. She saw nothing but beauty. Tell me, where before have you seen patience that grows stronger with each trial? It's as if Zainab in the face of tribulation would smile and say, "Oh world, throw at me what you will. I am the daughter of Ali who stood upon that hill." And what? And she said, "Oh world, throw at me what you will. I am the daughter of Ali who stood upon that hill. I am the one who watched as the hooves trampled the body of my brother. I am Zainab and Fatima is my mother. Our life is made of difficulties. Oh Zainab, how could you bear to see the tents on fire? Sajjad running between them, his shackles, his attire, and all that lies ahead is more torture and pain. No longer fights Abbas, for his arms lay on this plain. Oh Zainab, as you leave, count the children around. Oh Zainab, as you leave, count the children around. Can you hear that faint little crying sound? Oh Zainab, as you leave, count the children around. Can you hear that faint crying sound? Oh Zainab, keep her with you the whole way, for she'll miss her father so much every day. Such that all the children you left with, will not remain, because one shall go back and meet her father Hussein. Oh Zainab, these tears we cry for you. However many tears drop, it shall always be too few. Labbaik ya Zainab. Labbaik ya Zainab. Labbaik ya Zainab. لبيك يا زينب صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
For the love of Zainab al-Kubra, أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. A silence broke on the plains of Karbala. No man from the army of Hussein remained standing. The enemies looking left and right, for they've accomplished their task that they came for. Bodies were being removed from the battlefield by family members from the enemy's side. But there was one body that remained bare in the midst of the battlefield. A body that nobody went to claim. A body that was left alone in the peak heat of Arabia. One by one from the enemy folk, they slowly began to approach the body of our Imam. They looked at his body, and the first one saw that Imam still had a shirt left on his chest. So he went close to the Imam and he ripped off his shirt. As he ripped off his shirt, It says in our tradition, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says there were 33 wounds of spears on the blessed chest of Imam. There were 34 wounds of swords on the blessed body of Hussein. This individual ripped the shirt of the Imam and began to wear it like war booty. A second Bahr ibn Ka'ab Timi came towards the Imam and saw that the Imam's legs were covered. He ripped off the trousers that Imam was wearing. Imam's body laid bare. A man came and he saw that the beheaded head of the Imam had a turban next to it. He takes the turban and he puts it on his own head. Each one coming to look for some sort of war booty to return back to Yazid with. A man by the name of Bajdal comes to the Imam's body. He sees that he has nothing covering his chest, nothing covering his legs, but he sees that there's a ring on the finger of the Imam. Bajdal, you could have taken this ring by pulling it off. Tell me, why did you cut my Imam's finger for the ring? He cuts off the Imam's finger in order to take the ring. The robe of the Imam is looted. The sword of the Imam is taken. At that time, the enemies realize that Hussein's body has nothing else to give them. So they turn their faces and they lock their eyes onto the daughters of Fatima. They mount their horses and they begin to gallop towards the tents of Al Muhammad. They come close to the tents, they take fire, they run from tent to tent, beginning to burn them. As they burn the tent, the children begin to run out of the tents. As the children run out, they're met with slaps on their faces from the enemy foe. As the women run out, the men begin to tear the veils from the heads of Al Muhammad. The women are taken out bareheaded, barefooted. They come into the plains of Karbala. Their tents are on fire. The ladies are then arrested one by one. They're brought all together. The ladies call out. They said, for Allah's sake, take us to the place of slaughter. We haven't seen our beloved ones. What has happened to them? The narrator says, by Allah, I can never forget how Zainab, daughter of Ali, wept over Hussein and wailed in such an extremely sorrowful voice. She cries out and she says, Ya Muhammadan, Salla alayka malaikatu as-sama. O Muhammad, a peace of the angels be upon you. هذا حسين بالعراء. This is Hussein whose body is unclothed. مرمل بالدماء. He's covered in his own blood. مقطع الأعضاء. His limbs have been severed. وبناتك السبايا. Your daughters have now become prisoners. إلى الله المشتكى. I turn and I complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She says, I convey and complain to Allah, to Muhammad al-Mustafa. I complain to Ali al-Murtada. I complain to my mother Fatima al-Zahra. I complain to Sayyid al-Shuhada Hamza. Oh Muhammad, come and see. Here is Hussein, killed by the men of illegitimate birth in the desert. The wind covers him with sand. Brothers and sisters, is it not but a duty of another Muslim to give another body ghusl, to give another body kafan? Everybody that has passed away has been given a ghusl, has been given the kafan, has been buried. But there is this one body today that lays on the plains of Karbala, the body of a Hussein. Nobody comes to wash this body. Nobody comes to cover this body. Nobody digs a grave for this body. Zainab cries out and she says, Today is as if my grandfather has passed away. O companions of Muhammad, these are the progeny of Muhammad who are being carried like slaves. O Muhammad, your daughters have become captive. Your progeny has been assassinated on the bodies on which the desert wind is spreading its sand. Oh Muhammad, here is Hussein, whose head has been cut off from its neck and lies without a turban or a cloak. May my father be sacrificed for the one whose army got routed on Monday and his tent was destroyed. She cries out and she says, may my father be sacrificed for the dear one who did not go on a journey from where there is hope of returning, or there is an ailing pain in such a way that it can be cured. My father be sacrificed for the one for whom my life is also ready to be sacrificed. May my father be sacrificed for the grieved one who has been martyred in a state in which he was thirsty, where he died with dry lips. My father be sacrificed for the esteemed one whose own blood has drenched his beard. My father be sacrificed for the honorable one whose grandfather is the messenger of Allah. Zainab cries out to her mother. She says, my father be sacrificed for Zahra, the chief of the lady. My father be sacrificed for the one whom the son returned, so that he may offer his prayers. The reporter says that Zainab caused both friends and foes to weep through this sorrowful claim that she made. Thereafter, he says, we see a young girl by the name of Sakina. We see her running out of the tent. We see her rushing to this body where Zainab is standing. She tries to pull the body onto her laps. The enemies come and they push her away. Some say this young girl had earrings in her ears, and the enemies lock their eyes on it, and they rush towards her, but they didn't ask her, can we have your earrings? Instead they took their heavy hands and with slaps on her face they pulled these earrings from her ear. Brothers, when you go to Karbala, do you realize that the place of Maqtal is a few feet away from the actual burial place of Hussein? Do you see that the place of slaughter is many feet away from where Hussein is buried? Have you ever asked the question, how is it that Hussein was killed in one place, but his body is buried in another? Allow me to tell you what Umar ibn Sa'ad cries out. He calls out and he says, who are the volunteers to stampede their horses on the body of a Hussein? 10 people raise their hands and they say, we volunteer to stampede our horses' hooves on the body of a Hussein. They mount their horses, and as Zainab is watching, as Sakina is watching, as Ali ibn al-Hussein is being made to look, these trampling hooves come galloping towards Hussein's bodies, jumping towards the sky and coming crashing down on the chest of Hussein. Zainab can only hear the ribs of Hussein breaking in front of her. Sakina sees Hussein's body being turned upside down. Ali ibn al-Hussein sees the hooves of the horses crushing the back of Hussein. It is these same people who returned back to Umar ibn Sa'ad and with heads held up high, they said, we are the 10 men who crushed the body of Hussein. At this time now, the ladies' hands have been chained, they're tied. Night begins to fall. There is no tent for them to take shelter in because the tents have been burnt. In the cold night of Arabia, these children sit with one another. Water must have been brought by that time. Is it far from our imagination as to what these children must have said to one another? Is it far from the truth that Sakina must have told her aunt, oh my aunt, untie my hands now please, For there is water, and my young baby Ali, he used to cry for water night after night. We could never give him water, but today before I drink, I want to give him a sip of water. Oh, my aunt, untie my hands. These ropes are tight and they're hurting me. I want to go to my baby brother Ali. These women have been tied together. The men who remain have been tied together in shackles. But little did they know what's to come tomorrow. As the sun rises tomorrow, the ladies will be placed on camels which have no saddles on their backs. Some women will be made to walk, some mounted on camels. Brothers, tell me what happens when somebody has a rope around their neck on a camel, and another on another camel, and between them there is one who is also tied together. When these two camels separate, what happens to the rope around the neck of the one who is walking in between? Does it not tighten? Do they not get lifted off the ground? Tell me, these women were on the backs of camels. What about that man? Look at the back of this entire trail and line. You will see there is one man who has iron shackles around his arms. There is a man who has iron around his neck. And there is a man whose feet are shackled. A man who's being dragged from Karbala to Kufa. Who will be dragged from Kufa to Sham. And this is that same man who, when they look at him in Medina, he can't sit still. He moves from side to side. They ask him, "Oh Ali, why is it that you can't sit still?" He lifts up his cloak. He says, "Do you see the bones that have been exposed from my flesh? Do you know what they did to me? Do you know the shackles that they placed around my ankles? And do you know what happens when the sun's heat comes scorching down onto shackles? It burns your skin. But do you know when you can't stop and you have to walk, these shackles burn your skin and your bones become exposed?" Yet it is this same man who doesn't complain about his plight. Rather, when he walks in the streets and he sees butchers about to sever the neck of goats and sheep, he stops them. He says, "Oh man, have you given this sheep water to drink?" They turn around and they say, "Oh son of Rasulullah, it is but a duty that before you slaughter a sheep, you give it water." He says, "Verily you have said the truth. But do you know what they did to my father Hussein? He too was asking for water, but they slaughtered him without giving him." ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين فسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون بضم قضائي وتسليما لأمره السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيان. Brothers, many of us had planned to be in Karbala looking at the dome of Hussein right now. Many of us had made a plan. We would be standing under the dome holding onto the shrine today, going to pay condolences to Zahra alayhi salam today, paying condolences to Al-Hassan, paying condolences to Amirul Mu'mineen, paying condolences to Rasulullah. Allah has planned it otherwise. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, this Arba'een, give us the opportunity to go back to Hussein. Allah, don't separate us from our beloved Hussein. Allah, next year and every year of our life, do not test us with this test, but that we can bear it. The distance is difficult, oh Allah. The distance is difficult, oh Allah. What consoles us is that you are watching, oh Allah. You desire that we be distant from Hussein. Allah, don't test us again with this test. It's been difficult to stand afar from Hussein. With the loudest of your voices. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn وعلى أصحاب الحسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا
ای شیعیون امشب شام غریب جسم حسین آریان آن در بایابان اطفال شاهدی سرگشته و غمگین زینب پرستاره جمع یتیمان است حسین اوریان در بایا کربلا در کربلا امشب صحرا پر از خون در کربلا امشب صحرا پر از خون است فریاد غم هر سو پرچرخ گردون است ای لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين يا مولانا لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسين يا مولانا. If we had heard you say, if we had heard you say, when all the bodies lay, help as I need today in Karbala, If we had been with you, with no Abbas in view, with no 72 on Ashura, we would have run to you to intervene, just like we walked to you on Arba'in. We would have run to you to intervene, just like we'll walk to you on Arba'in. Our hearts don't tame, burn like a flame. Your love we claim, crying your name. لبيك يا حسين، لبيك يا حسين، لبيك يا حسين يا مولانا. لبيك يا حسين، لبيك يا حسين، لبيك يا حسين. Hey, if we were there that night to see that tragic sight, the tents are all alight, wa Zainaba. The tears on my cheek, my effort is so weak, your strength, Sajjad, I seek, wa Imama. Give me the bravery of Alamdar, so I can be with you, inshaAllah. Your shrine we crowd, we all have vowed to call out proud and shout out loud. Labbaika ya Hussein, Ya Maulana. Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein. Ah, if we had seen the sleep in the prison so deep, how can we then not weep for Sakina? Her sleep not on your chest, but rather laid to rest, an angel in her nest in the bazaar. Her sleep not on your chest, but rather laid to rest, an angel in her nest in the bazaar. How did this tragedy Zainab withstand? I can't begin to even understand. Our hearts ignite all day and night, with all our might these words we write. Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Ya Maulana. Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Ya Maulana. Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Labbaika ya Hussein, Ya Maulana. बाजार के मंजर को और अपने खुले सर को भूली नहीं मैं, बाजार के मंजर को और अपने खुले सर को भूली नहीं मैं, बाजार के मंजर को और अपने खुले सर को भूली नहीं मैं, अपने बंदे हाथों को बीमार के ज़ेवर को भूली नहीं मैं, बाजार के मंजर को और अपने खुले सर को भूली नहीं मैं, बाजार के मंजर को अपने खुले सर को भूली नहीं मैं। उठती हुई आंधी को, वहशत को, बयाबा को, छुपते हुए सूरज को, तारीकी को, मैदान को, जलते हुए खंजर को, नेज़े पे तेरे सर को भूली नहीं मैं, बाजार के मंजर को کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو بھولی نہیں میں ایک چاند تھا بدلی میں چھپتا تھا نکلتا تھا پردہ در خیمہ کا اٹھتا کبھی گرتا تھا وہ خیمہ لیلا سے ہے رخصت اکبر کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو نہیں میں فضا کو میرا بھائی ماں کہہ کے بلاتا تھا غم اس کا میرے بھائی کے نام پہ جاتا تھا رتبے میں جو ماں بن کر آئی اسی مادر کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو بھولی نہیں میں لہراتے ہوئے نیزہ اور شمر کا وہ بھرنا آ کے میرے پیچھے ہر بیوی کا وہ چھپنا شولوں میں گرے گھر کو چھنتی ہوئی چادر کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو بھولی نہیں میں یاد آتا ہے ایک ماں کا وہ خاک میں دس جانا اور آگ کے شعلوں میں وہ ماں کا جلس جانا چلتے ہوئے جھولے سے لپٹی ہوئی مادر کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو بھولی نہیں میں ہے آج بھی وہ گریا ہے آج بھی وہ زاری ہے آج بھی پتھر کے سینے سے لہو جاری روتے ہوئے پتھر کو پتھر پہ رکھے سر کو بھولی نہیں میں بازار کے منظر کو اور اپنے کھلے سر کو بھولی
من غلام نوکراتم عاشق کربلاتم تا آخرش باهاتم تو همونی که میخوامی دلیل گریه هامی تا آخرش باهامی عشق یعنی به تو رسیدن یعنی نفس کشیدن تو خاک سرزمینت عشق یعنی تموم سالو همیشه بیقرارم برای اربعینت آقای من زندگیمو دستت دادم تو این مسیر افتادم ای عشق مادر زادم حسین صلی علی محمد و آله
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائه، عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم جميعا. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى خصوصا مولانا أبو الفضل العباس وأختيك زينب وأم كلثوم وبنتك سكينة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم أئمة الطاهرين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة ابن الحسن عجل الله فرجه وسهل الله مخرجه وظهورك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذا الست وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا وليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضا وثم